Hi Aquarius, happy May. I hope you are doing well. Okay, these are snippets, guys, really just like snippets so that we can get ahead of things that we might not be able to rectify afterwards, right? The energy is insane where relationships are concerned. One-on-one relationships more so are taking the hit, I feel. We're really being asked to look at ourselves, right? Where do we not speak up when we should? Where do we take a second seat when we shouldn't? It's more about value, and what are we doing with that, right? So it's not just us now being called out on the carpet. It's our partners too. So when you've got two strong forces really being asked to step into their power, they're causing this kind of dynamic where, you know, well, we've had this argument 1,000 times and it never ends like this. Now the person won't even talk to me again. That's the kind of dynamic I'm trying to get ahead of, because if it's something, unless it's something where you need to address this right now, I would suggest maybe tabling it until June. But that's my point, is that's the main reason I'm really doing these little snippets, so that if any of these things resonate to you, take it to your advantage. Knowledge is power, right? And do with it what you will to make the best decisions for yourself, okay? Now, you come in as the first card. Your partner or potential partner comes in as the second card. The third card is the karmic lesson within this point in time, like what this exact situation, right, is supposed to be showing you here, what your lesson takeaway from this is in the short term, so to speak. And your fourth card is the overall. Where if you were to look back at this particular point in time and whatever's going on right here now for you, the karmic lesson, how you grew in all of this, is that fourth card, right? Because when we're better people and we know more, we're responsible to kind of pay it forward, you know, like, hey, I've been through that and this is, you know, my experience. Take it for what it's worth. Maybe it can help you in some regard, something like that. It just makes us better human beings, right? So you come in as the Nine of Cups. I think that that's great. And the clarifying card you've got under it is true love, right? I think it's a great card. But I'm going to show you how this can go two ways, because you may be, in all your loveliness, maybe putting too much on someone inadvertently, not at all intentional, right? Now, the King of Swords in here is someone who's very set in their ways. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a harder exterior than interior. You know what I mean? Maybe like a little bit, they're such a strong-willed person. There's no way this would bother them. And something this little wouldn't bother this person. I think it may. You know what I mean? It may not be the case that they're putting on a harder shell than they are on the inside. And I think they may be overwhelmed a little bit. Okay. Now, if this is a potential partner, it may be someone that likes a lot of independence. This could be someone too, guys, that travels a lot for their work and now doesn't know what to do with a consistent. You know what I mean? There's a flip of a switch there sometimes. Right, and it becomes a power struggle, because the clarifiers that I pulled here, first one you got fear. Okay, the person has fear. And the second is a power struggle in relationships. Now, I combine my decks here, so these come from two different decks, but they play very well. One is a relationship dynamic, and one is just our psychology behind things. It's one and the same, right? So, you know, I think that you may be pulling in people that are maybe a little bit fearful of commitment. It's possible, right? Now, your third card here, you've got the the King of Coins. That's someone who, again, is very grounded, but also very fixed and set in their ways. You know what I mean? It's funny because you're more like a we person, and these people are more like the me people. You know what I mean? Not in a derogatory way. It's just different perspectives on things, right? Now, the clarifiers that we have for this person, this lesson, is loneliness and expectations, right? And I want to show you something here. And now, the outbound card, you've got the Seven of Coins. That card shows up when you need to hit the pause button for a moment, right? Like you personally can't do anything else at this moment. This is a time where you need to stop for a minute. That card usually shows up, and there is divine timing in there. It usually shows up when you're making a major change in your life, right? And you've got the Grace card here, right? That's a lovely card, right? I think that you're making changes in your life. I think if you've got a partner, they may be a little fearful of this. The perfect example would be if you're getting married, or if you're moving in together, or if you're doing something now where where you're kicking up the relationship a little bit. I think the person may be a little worried, right? Like this would be a first date and now you've got your whole life planned out for you. I think it might be too much for the person. So if you notice in yourself that this is a pattern, right, where that Nine of Cups becomes more of an obsession to find love. You know what I mean? It's like I'm in love with love, but not necessarily the person. It may be something that you want to look like, because it looks like your heart is in the right place. But I think that the people that you're pulling in, it may be things move too fast for them, and they're, putting someone on a pedestal. You now instill fear in them that maybe they can't measure up. It could be anything like this. So my point is, the reason, again, behind doing these was to get ahead of things. So if you just take what I'm saying here and, look at it, because you're clearly, if it's your partner or your potential partner, they're not in a happy place. They're either in a fearful place where they're, one, not going to be able to stand up to your expectations, or two, you're putting them on a pedestal and they're not real comfortable there, right? You know what I mean? Like that, it might be that too, where they may not want to disappoint you, but you're scaring the crap out of them, basically, right? So I think you come in with a really great card, you go out with a really great card, but just look at what is the foundation that the relationships that you're building, what is that really made on? Is it a give or take, or that kind of deal there? So there you go. I hope that I helped you in some way. I don't think this is negative. It's just, I think more of a pattern process that you want to look at. Okay, so I'm going to come out with the monthlies, so just sit tight. It'll, I'm sure, show up somewhere in there. Okay.